Hello and welcome. We are going to be building hospital management system in Django. So no matter your level in programming, your level in Python, I'm going to be explaining everything in its simplest form. So if you're excited about this build, please smash the subscribe button right now. Let's grow this channel. Like the video and share with family and friends and whoever you think the video might be helpful to. So let's get started. If you're here right now, it's either you've heard a lot about Python or interesting things about Python, or you are already familiar with Python and its framework Django. So to start with, you must have Python installed on your machine. And to get Python installed on your machine, you just simply go to their website, python.org, and then you get Python installed on your machine. They have beautiful documentation for you to follow, and if you fall into any problem as installing Python in your machine, I'll put my contact information in the description below. Just contact me and I'll help you through it. So let's get started. If you are here, it means you must have your code editor, and I'll be using a code editor, PyCharm. If you don't have PyCharm and you have any other code editor, it's good. You can still follow along. They all give almost the same results. And if you don't have code editor and you don't want to use PyCharm as I'm using, there's a whole lot of them out there. There's Visual Studio, Sublime Text, and a whole lot of them. Get one installed and let's get started. So if you're using PyCharm or most code editors, they will tell you, or you'll be asked to create a new project. Tap on create new project, and here they're asking for the root folder you want your project to be found. I want my project to be found in Django Hospital because it's a hospital management term for easy remembrance and other things. Yeah, I just named it Django Hospital. And down here, when you tap on this in PyCharm, it will toggle down when they are saying new environment using virtual environment. This is important because virtual environment, if you are new to programming, I know you've heard a lot of programmers talking about virtual environment, Docker, and a whole lot of stuff. Virtual environment, to explain virtual environment, is very simple. And this is the simplest way I will explain virtual environment. Virtual environment, simply made, is a container. Okay, so let's say you have a project called, you have a fashion project, and then an animal project. Let's say a website for fashion and a website for animals. And you are installing things for fashion. Let's say you are installing a pomade for fashion, a comb for fashion, dresses and other things for fashion. Let's say these are packages. Okay, and you are installing it for fashion, you are installing them for fashion. You installed, and everything went so successfully for you. Your website is up and running. And then another time you want to create another project, your second project or your other project. Immediately you start the project, all these things will be mapped to this animal project too. These things are meant for your fashion project, but since they are global, we call it global packages. They'll all be mapped to the other projects you are creating. So comb and everything will be mapped to animals. And now you can see that it's not anything it's not any package here that will be compatible with your animal project, because in the animal project too, you will want to install other project too and other packages into your animal project. And this is what is happening. You install these things and then you push them into your animal project. You install them into your animal project. It means that some of the packages you are installing into your animal project will be fighting or will be interacting with the fashion project, who are also in your animal projects too. And your website or your project is going to cost you a lot of time for you debugging, and a lot of time you solving errors and a lot of time just sitting around looking for exact thing that you did wrong and dependency problems and a lot of things. So that's where virtual environment comes in. Virtual environment is a container. Okay, this is what virtual environment do. It's a container, and this is what it do. You create a project, you create a virtual environment, and what virtual environment does is virtual environment automatically maps to a single project. Okay, a single project. So when you're installing packages into your project, into your fashion project or your project, the things you are installing, instead of them going straight into your project, they rather go into the container, into your virtual environment. And virtual environment as a container, it will hold the packages for you. So it means that when you are creating another project, the virtual environment or the packages you installed will not interfere in the other project. Because, for example, let's say you have a virtual environment on your project, and then you install, instead of these packages going straight into the project, they are rather going into your virtual environment, into the container. The container will hold it for the project. So it means that anytime you are installing another thing for your other project or your animal project, it will not interfere into this project. It will rather be kept into your animal project's virtual environment, into the container, and the container will only serve for the project it is expected to serve. I guess this is well explained. Virtual environment in its simplest form again is a container that holds packages for a particular project. If you don't install or if you don't create a virtual environment, packages will be interacting and interfering in other packages and causing you problems. If you don't install create virtual environment, you'll be solving problems and encountering problems upon problem, because most packages are not meant for other projects or are not meant to interfere with other packages, and they are going to cause you problems. So create virtual environment, and then they will really hold your packages for you and help you work on your project individually. So that's what PyCharm does for you. PyCharm automatically creates a virtual environment for your project. So if this is done, just tap on create, and then your PyCharm project has started. So I already have the project up and running. So just tap on create, and this is what is will be happening. To open up in a new window, and as you can see, I named my project, I named my root folder Django Hospital, and see the virtual environment PyCharm automatically creates for me. If you are using a code editor that doesn't create a virtual environment for you, it's simple. Just type Python. That's if you have Python already installed. Just type Python-M VENV, and then your virtual environment's name. So what's happening here? Python is just similar to normal speech, like normal language. The syntax is so easy to understand. This is what is happening. You are creating virtual environment, and this is what the Python code you should be writing. Python-M VENV, and guess what it's saying? Python make VENV. Python make virtual environment, and then your environment name. See how simple Python is. Python make virtual environment VENV, and so I named since PyCharm creates my virtual environment for me. It's used the name called venv. You can also name your virtual environment whatever that you want. So let's say you name your virtual environment and to whatever name you want. In my case, let's assume I don't have virtual environment created already. I'll just have Python-M venv, then my environment name venv. I'll tap this and then I'll tap enter, and when I tap enter, I'll now get a folder. That looks like this, or you get a folder that looks like this, and then you cd into the folder. That's to activate your virtual environment. You cd into your folder, cd into the name or the virtual environment you've created, venv. You cd into that folder, and then you cd into the script folder. So to be able to access this folder, the scripts folder is inside the environments folder. So cd into scripts, and then you now type activate, and then your virtual environment is activated. And if you want to deactivate your virtual environment, it's simple, just type deactivate. As you can see, sorry, I spelled it wrong, deactivate. As you can see here the virtual environment is activated. That's why you see it in brackets at the beginning. And when I type deactivated, as you can see here, there's no virtual environment, or your virtual environment is not showing. So to activate your virtual environment, just go back to your virtual environment name, cd into scripts, and now tap activate. So I'm getting into my virtual environment name, cd venv, that's the name I used, and then cd the script folder inside, cd into scripts, and then activate. So what immediately you tap activate, it means everything you install now will be for only the project you are about to start. Okay, so cd out. So to get cd dot or cd to pos means going one step back in your folder. So if you don't know it, you now know it. Go one step back. As you can see, scripts is no more. Now it's now this. I want to move into this folder or our root folder, cd dot and now I'm in my root folder. So if you're in root folder, the first thing you must do is, since our virtual environment is active, it means that it's ready or it's open to take in whatever we are installing for the project. So you type pip. If you have Python installed, Python provides a package installer called pip. Pip install Python. Pip install Django. And then you type in enter, and then it takes just a couple of seconds and Django will be installed in your machine. As you can see, there are telling me requirements already satisfied. I installed Django earlier, and mostly that's what we need now. So if you have Django installed on your machine, now you can use Python to create a project and a whole lot. So it's simple to start a Django project. Since Django is installed, so you must install Django to create a Django project. And now the Django we've installed is only meant for the project we're about to create. So if the Django, the version of the Django is 2.3 or 3 point whatever, will be meant for this. So it means that the other project, if you are using a different Django, if let's say another version of Django comes tomorrow, and we want a new version for another project, this version will not interfere into the new version. It means another project will be using a different version, this one will be using a different version. But if you don't have virtual environment created, it means that they'll all be using the same version. And as you see, there might be problems in the coding and other things. Okay, so now Django is installed. Just type Django dash admin. That's what we used in creating a Django project. And Django, as beautiful and as wonderful as it is, it will help you with folders and create everything for you. So you don't need to hustle yourself in creating billions of code just to have one thing running or so. So Django dash admin start project, and then our project name, let me call our project name hospital. I'm bad at naming stuff, so just bear with me. Hospital. So this is what you use to creating a Django project. So anytime you want to start a Django project, just type Django dash admin start project, and then you put in your project name. Now let's get here. As you can see beautifully, the project hospital we've created is inside our Django hospital root folder. It means anytime we go into this root folder, we should be able to find our project. And when you toggle through the project, see what's happening here. We have hospital that contain beautiful Python files. Most of these things you not use, and the most important ones are settings.py, urls.py, and WSGI for deployments and other stuff. And most of the time you not even tag them. URLs are just the URLs or the paths you want people to go, like slash contact us, or your domain slash about us, or your domain home, those stuff. And then this settings.py is just to accommodate your settings or whatever you want, your settings for your project. Okay, so these three or these two are the most important things in this folder, and Django has already written almost everything we'll be needing here. So you just need to be writing maybe a line of code or just the important things you might need for your settings. And URL, Django beautifully already created an administration or administrator panel for you. See how beautiful it is. See the URLs. It means when you go to your local host, because now we are on in development mode, so when you go on your local host slash admin, you should go to a beautiful Django administrator panel, and you can do a lot of things there. So what we are interested here is manage.py. So we must get into the project to start doing a lot of things, because currently we are still in our root folder, and our root folder is the project. So we are not in the project yet. So we must cd into the project. Cd. Our project is called hospital. So now we are inside our project. Now we can start doing things now. Are you excited? If you're excited, please don't forget to smash the subscribe button right now. Like the video and comment yes. And let's continue. Okay, now we've cd into the project. We must now start an app. And starting an app in Django, as earlier, Django does a lot of things at the back end for. They do a lot of things for us. And to make things more easy and more simpler, this is what Django said. Django be like, every project should be having apps. It's not compulsory, but it's advisable that every project you should be having a lot of apps on your project. For example, we are going to create vehicle project. Okay, I'll not even say vehicle project. We are creating a hospital management project or a hospital management system. And this is what is happening. Django said, okay, in a project, we should be having apps in the project. And this is what the apps mean. It means that every project we should have a lot of apps. For example, we have patients in a hospital, we have doctors, and then we have doctors giving appointments, we have accounts, and a whole lot. And what Django is saying is, instead of you writing everything inside one app, doctors, everything inside one file, why don't you create apps so that you only write apps or files for patients, and then you go to you create another app, write for doctors, create another app and write for appointments and nurses and other things. For simplicity's sake, they are not forcing you, but for simplicity, so that if one time there's an error, you want to upgrade something, instead of you suffering through the whole a single file for a mistake or a bug or an upgrade, maybe you want to a client complain about you adding something to doctors, a fault to doctors. So it means that I have to come and scroll through to find where doctors are and find what you are missing, add stuff. Django is saying create apps so that when you just open your root folder and into your project, you just, because you are looking for doctors, you just go to doctors app. No interfering with patients or any distance. If you want appointment, you just go to appointment app. That's what Django means by app. But it's not compulsory, but it's advisable to always use apps in your projects. So for simplicity's sake. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, now we are inside our our project, the project we've created. We've seeded into the project. This is what is happening. Now we've seeded into the project, we must start an app. Okay, so inside the project, you now type Python. This manage.py is what we'll be using in running the project. Python manage.py start app, and let's call our app clinic. And then enter. I don't know whether there's I think most hospitals have clinics inside hospitals, right? Okay, I don't know, but it sounds cool. Okay, now as you can see here, the app is created, clinic. So when you toggle through this clinic, Django is giving beautiful Python files again. Admin, apps, models.py, test.py, views.py. What's happening here is, in explaining these Python files, any .py is a Python file. Take note. Admin.py means anything you want to see in your admin panel. As I explained earlier, Django gives you a beautiful admin panel. Anything you want to see in your admin panel, you put it inside your admin.py. Also, and like anything in the database you want to see in your admin panel. And apps.py, most of the time you don't even come here forever, because Django has already done almost everything here for you. And models.py is anything you want to add to your database, anything you want them to persist, you put it in your models.py. And test.py is when you want to test your application or when you want to test your project. Then you write your codes, you put them here to write your code, and then you run it. And then views.py is anything you want to see or anything you want the end user to see in your front end. You now put it in your views.py. Because this is explained well. If it's explained well, again, if you've not subscribed yet, subscribe, and let's keep going. Okay, I normally, okay, to to continue, whenever you create an app in Django using Django, sorry, Python manage.py start app, then your app, you must go to settings.py, scroll down into installed apps, and when you see the when you scroll down and then you enter into install apps, then you add the app you created, this using start app, you add it here. So in our case it was clinic. What's up sorry what's happening here is Django knows your app is in the project, but you've not registered it yet. Okay, you've created the app all right, but you have to register it into your project. So if you don't register it into your project, you cannot use it in the project. So to register it in the project, you must go to install apps, and then you just type in the name, and that's it. Django has already registered it. It means you can now use the app in your Django project. Okay, so let's get back. Let me close some of this. So let's get back to our app, because that's our app and that's what we want. We are not interested in the other things. What we are really interested in is what we want and the reason why we are here. Okay, when you are inside your apps, I normally like to create my database and now show it to the users. But most programmers also enjoy or like to create a front end or show users what they are expected to see before they create a database for it. Either way, every approach is good and every approach is great. Whatever you do and whatever I do, we still end up in the same end. So you can take my way or you can take your way or another person's way, but for now I'm starting my project, or I'm starting my app in models.py. I'm creating a database to see what the database contain and then show it to the user. Okay, so to start, you go to models.py, and then before you start any project, Django automatically imports this beautiful line of code for you. And what the line of code is saying, see how interesting and how simple Python is. Python is just regular syntax English. Just see, from Django dot model, it means from Django there's a folder Django, and inside Django there's a DB, and inside the DB you are importing models. So from Django dot db import models. See how beautiful, that's how simple Python is. Just simple, just normal English. From Django dot db import models. So what's happening here is Django has a DB that has models, and the models has some scripts or some things that we may be needing, and Django knows we might be needing those things. So Django really imports it for, or give us this import and for us to use for free. Okay, before we start, you must first of all ask yourself, what do you want in your database? What do you want it to persist? Persisting is when, like, anytime you go into your website or anytime you go into your database, you must find that those informations there. For example, names of people who signed in, who registered. You always want them to have their names there. For example, I don't want to come into my my website or my page and type in my email address or type in my details, and they will tell me cannot be found. They have to always be found because I registered. They have to be saved forever unless it's been deleted. So that's what is happening. Django models or databases simply means you putting something down and saving something forever or for future use. So before we start, what do you want it to persist? We are building a hospital management system. So first of all, in your mind, you are building a hospital. And hospitals normally contain hospitals. Almost every hospital has a doctor. We'll keep it simple. Every hospital has a doctor. Every hospital has a patient. A patient. Oops. Every hospital have a patient, and every hospital books appointments, or there must be appointments for easy flow of work and check and balances. Okay, so this is what is happening. Okay, I know if you are new to programming or Python, you can see I'm using hash here. It means that these things will not be added. It will be added, but it will never be used to you um, in your project. There are comments for easy readabilities. Okay, so we want these things to be persisting in our hospital. It means that when a doctor is called Emmanuel, we want the information of the doctor Emmanuel to always be in the database, so that whenever time someone books an appointment, the person can say, okay, I want Dr. Emmanuel, or a patient should be called this, or all this should be kept in the database. So I want doctors should always be in the database, because every hospital has a database that they have the information of every doctor and every patient in their folders, and every appointment, everything is stored in the database. So that's what we are also building right now. So any website or any Django project you are doing and you want anything to be in the database, just make sure that you put it in your models.py, and then you list it down for easy, for everything to be easy and cool. So we want doctors, patients, and everything. So let's get started. Okay. Now we are going to start Python. So if you are new in Python, this is the best time for you to really smash this like button, share the video, call friends and family to come and learn Python, and subscribe if you've not subscribed yet. Thank you, and let's continue. Python. So everything you are writing in Django is Python. Okay, because Django comes from Python. Okay, when you are starting things or scripts or code in models.py, everything starts in class. So what are classes? Classes in Django, or classes in Python, when you hear someone saying classes in Python or objects, they are just in the simplest form. The simplest way to explain classes in Python is this. Let me get my other screen out. Okay. The easiest way to explain classes in Python is, let's say this is, a boy. Let's say this is a boy or a head. Classes in Python is similarly you creating a version of your own thing. This is there, but you creating a version of your own thing and putting it in your database. For example, your database or Django doesn't know anything about head. So you are now going to create head and tell Django, hey Django, a head has only 2 eyes without a nose, without a mouth. That's a head. By normal sense, a head should have these qualities, right? So that's what is happening. You are creating a database in classes. So classes in Python just simply mean you creating something of your own thing. Or you can even simply say classes in Django or classes in Python simply mean you are a god or you are an inventor who is making things for yourself. So we are going to create a doctor class. Okay, we are going to create a doctor class, and the doctor class is simply you creating a doctor. It means you are now an inventor. You are now inventing doctors right now, or you are now creating doctors. You are now a god. Sorry for the language, but you are creating things of your own versions. Okay, so do you understand Python's classes right now? So when you want to create a car, a model of a car or any this thing, you create it in classes and you be like, okay, I want the car to be yellow, a car should be blue, or the car I'm creating should have only 3 tires or no wheel, should have wings. So that's what classes in Python typically mean. You creating versions of things. Okay, so class doctor, let's start with that. And classes, immediately you type in class, what you want to create should start in a uppercase. Okay, doctor. Okay, the models Django has imported for us. Okay, this it means that we are now to access everything Django has in its models. Okay, models dot model, and now this is the time we are now to create a doctor. Okay, we are creating a doctor of ourselves, like a doctor, um a doc we are creating a doctor. We are now to invent doctors right now. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, now that we have our migrate do the magic for us, you can see here db sqlite 3. That's simple. Now it's in our database, and the next time we continue, we will be accessing our database and our admin panel, and then we'll see if we can now move to views.py to now show the end user what we got. If you like this video, please don't forget to smash the subscribe button, and please again